Hey there, I'm Han.
And I'm Kat, and we're Brews and Reviews. Welcome to day 19 of the Spring to It Videoathon, which we host with
Danny Buxton,
Brooke Clark,
Christina's Journey,
The Story,
and Stacks and Stacks and Stacks. So today's prompt is books that we have DNF'd. So, I mean, we've got a few honourable mentions, but the other ones we have actually just DNF'd.
Do you know what the thing is with us in DNFing books? Is that we just don't really do it.
No.
Like, we push through, even if we probably shouldn't have pushed through, but we do.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, I'd rather moan about a book that I've finished than moan about a book that I've DNF'd. But there are some times, some occasions, when you just can't.
Yeah.
Like, you just, like, for whatever reason, like, because we're not just doing books that we DNF'd because we hated.
Yeah.
Like, please bear that in mind. There are some that we really hated, and some that we just...
Like our honourable mentions we actually read, but we wished we'd DNF'd them.
Yeah. So enjoy.
So, the first actual book that I have DNF'd is The Most Ramallah by Rick Yancey. Now, I chose this to read in October last year for, like, we were doing a month of spooky reads and, like, spooky films and stuff like that. I just couldn't get into it. Do you know what? I actually really liked the sound of it, but...
It sounded a bit Frankenstein-y,
Yeah.
didn't it? Like...
But, I don't know if it was the copy as well, like, the writing inside it. It was tiny. It was all the way up to, like, the corners and everything. But it was odd, like, in some pages it wasn't, some pages it was, and it just, I don't know. It just wasn't nice to read. Like, the font changed as well. Sometimes it would be bold and sometimes it wasn't. But it wasn't because it was highlighting a different part of a story or whatever. It was just...
Bad printing.
Yeah, really bad.
Mass market paperbacks. Not great sometimes.
So I really didn't like it, and I wasn't particularly keen on the story. There was nothing that hooked me. Don't get me wrong, I didn't actually get that far into it. I think I only got maybe 50 odd pages, but it was enough. I was like, no, I'm not going to be able to do it, and I knew it would put me in a huge reading slump, so no.
So, the first book that I'm going to talk about that I DNF'd is not a book that I DNF'd because it was bad. It was not a bad book. It is a book that I have enjoyed and know that I'm going to go back to and I'm going to enjoy it when I read it. That is Redshirts by John Scalzi. Now, this is a book which is basically a parody on, like, Star Trek. You know how if someone's in a red shirt, the likelihood is they're not going to make it out of the episode because they are, like, superfluous people who are just there for cannon fodder. So, in this book, people start to realise that if, like, unless you were the main character, maybe you're not going to make it out alive. And, like, that's so cool. I love John Scalzi's writing. Do you know why I DNF'd it? Because I moved. I moved back home, and it got lost in all the boxes. So, the progress that I had on it was gone. Like I don't remember the beginning of it, and I need to reread it, like the beginning bit, so I can carry on with it. So I've kind of DNF'd it, but not really DNF'd it.
So speaking of kind of DNFing books, but not really DNFing books, I'm going to talk about Red Rising by Piers Brown, because I started reading this last year. And
This year? This year.
Was it this year?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yes.
God, see what I mean? Like, I felt like I was reading it for years.
You need to read it in, like, quickly. Like, I was talking to Mike about this, and you just need to read it really quickly. He says it's really good for people who are just reading it in one go, because you get the flow of it. If you read it in, like, tiny little chunks, then it doesn't work.
Yeah. So anyway, I just couldn't get into it, and as well, I think because there was so much hype surrounding it that I was like, well, why aren't I liking it? And then I think I was pressurising myself into liking it, but I was like, but I don't. I actually just don't. I'm kind of fibbing myself into thinking I like it when I don't.
And that makes you like it less.
Yeah, and then I couldn't follow what was going on. I didn't really know who the characters were because I had no connection to them. So I'm just going to stop reading it. I'm going to leave it for a couple of months. I'm going to take off my Goodreads because I keep on seeing it on there and it's like, ugh, get off my Goodreads because I'm not going to read you yet. So I'm just going to delete it off my Goodreads. I'm going to listen to it in audio format in a couple of months' time. And then hopefully my view will change. So I just need to get it completely out of my head. I need to get rid of all negative thoughts. Because they're not fully founded negative thoughts. It's just because I'm so frustrated that I don't like it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Like, it's worth giving it another shot.
Yeah.
If, like, and then if you still don't like it, then it's just not the book for you.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. There was nothing wrong with it. There was nothing that I thought, oh God, that's terrible. It's terrible writing, or I don't like the storyline. It's not that. It's just, I just didn't connect.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I'm DNFing it for now anyway.
So, the next book that I DNF is actually more of a series that I have DNF'd, and that is the Sword of Truth series by Terry Goodkind. Now, Chainfire, I kind of think is like the start of a trilogy at the end of the Sword of Truth book. I don't know. I've tried to read this book a couple times, and I can't even get, like, I can't get into the first chapter. I'm like I read the back of it, and I was like, no. Just no. Like, Terry Goodkind's got some problems. I read these books when I was really young, and I had like a really like nostalgic feeling to them, so I don't think I have as much hatred to the series as other people have, but like looking back on it, there is much sadness in this series. There is not Terry Goodkind's writing about women is not the best, putting that mildly, but I just can't get into this one, and I do think that it is me DNFing the series. I don't think I will ever pick them up. I think I'm going to unhaul them, to be honest, and that is saying something, because at the moment I feel like they're just taking up space on the shelves, and we don't have space on these shelves.
We really don't. We're like stacking above the bookshelf now.
You can't even see, but like it's getting too high. I can't even reach. Hannah's the only one that can like reach them up there.
Another book that I DNF'd is Sabriel by Garth Nix. Now, I attempted to read this. I've literally tried about 3 or 4 times. Like, I literally borrowed this off you, and I've had it on my shelves for about 4 or 5 years because I kept on trying to pick it up and I never could. I was like, just take it back, just have it, because there's no chance I'm going to ever do it. I couldn't get past the spot, and literally probably didn't even get maybe past 50 odd pages. I just didn't like it. I think it's about a girl, and then she can kind of see the dead or something from what I remember. I didn't read enough to know about it. I don't know, but I didn't like it. Like, from what I read, I know that's a terrible thing to only get 50 pages through and think, do you know what, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Like, you're not going to, like, all it's going to do is put you in a book slump, and I feel like when you did that, that's probably more wise than some of the ones that we've carried on and then gone like, why did we bother?
Yeah.
Like,
but the thing is it's a shame because it actually doesn't sound like a bad story, so I don't get why I don't like it.
Maybe it's the writing or something. You just couldn't.
Maybe.
Wasn't your sort of thing.
But yeah, I just didn't like it.
Next up, we have a book called Lies by a person who I don't remember because I DNF'd this book. I downloaded it on an audiobook because it was a daily deal, I think, on Audible. I think it was about $1.99. Worst $1.99 I have ever spent.
Wasn't it TM Logan or something like that?
Something like that. Who knows? There's a picture somewhere. It was terrible. Goddamn terrible. Terrible! It was so whiny. Like, all the characters, they were just like... The rage. It is boiling. Anyway, I think it was a book about a guy who thought his wife was cheating on him, and then somebody else's wife was cheating on them. Or
do you know what? There was a bit about child as well, wasn't there?
Fucking annoying child.
Yeah, because I can remember, like, when it was quite...
Did we do a complaint to the cat on this?
I don't think... We might have done a complaint to the cat with it, but we went into a bit of a discussion about it, because I can remember in a video you were like, about this child.
Yeah, because he's there like, that looks like Mummy's car, that Mummy's car, Mummy's car.
Yeah!
Yeah.
I remember that.
Do you know what? It's because it was so fucking annoying. Like, if we've done a complaint to the cat, I'll leave it down below and you can hear me rant about that, but it was the worst. Like, I DNF'd it at 4 hours in to, like, I think 12 hours, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I was, like, outraged by what I'd read of it, and I was like... No. And now it's time for the honourable mentions. Or dishonourable mentions, I guess.
Yeah, because these are books that we actually finished, but if we weren't reading them in the situation that we did, because one of them was a buddy read, and one of them was the group book for, was it the Bible Bibliothon or BookTube or whatever it was. So we had to read them. If we didn't have to read them, they would have got DNF'd within the first couple of chapters, most definitely, because they were awful.
They are Winter Song by S.J. Jones
and Flame in the Mist by Rennie Adeye.
Both terrible for different reasons. We have ranted about both of them in other videos. Please go and check out other videos in which we've most certainly already ranted about these books.
Yeah, well, we did a review on that one, didn't we? That was pretty much Complaints of Cat, but with both of us.
Yeah, it was Hating It with Han.
Yeah, Hating It with Han, yeah.
So, these are terrible books. If you have a choice, do not choose these.
No, don't. Because these are both supposed to be retellings.
Right, yeah, this is a Labyrinth retelling. No.
And this is kind of supposed to be a Mulan retelling.
Also no.
Also no. It's just wrong. This one put me in a huge reading slump as well. Like, I needed to read books in that week, and I couldn't. I think I had like 1 or 2 books left from the challenges, and I was like, this is his fault. This is to blame, because it was awful.
Bad books. So there you have it. Those are the books we DNF'd or should have DNF'd. That's that. We've complained enough.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I say that, we can never complain enough. We're always complaining, but you know. So please do check out the other hosts' videos, see what they've DNF'd, see if there's anything worth avoiding. And if you filmed anything for this video, leave it in the comments below. We want to see. So we hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you later.
Bye.